Hello YouTube, this is Marauders here. So for the past few years, my gaming platform of choice has been my PC. So I either game primarily on my desktop PC, or when I'm on the move, I will game on my handheld gaming PC. As for console gaming, well, for the most part, I've basically the only other console that I've been playing is on my Nintendo Switch because, the Nintendo exclusives are the only exclusives worth playing. Yeah, that, and of course, because PlayStation still hasn't released a remaster of Bloodborne yet. As great as PC gaming is, because nowadays there really aren't that many console exclusives anymore, and if you can wait a bit, most of the PlayStation exclusives seem to be coming to the PC anyway. So yeah, why wouldn't we just tell everyone to go do PC gaming mainly? So the main reason not everyone can just go and just jump into PC gaming, there are two main problems. So the first of which is that there are relatively high initial costs to PC gaming compared to console gaming. For the price of a PS5 Pro, you might just be getting an entry-level PC that can play something at a modern AAA game at 1080p or 1440p at 60 frames per second. And of course, it doesn't help that one's idea of an entry-level PC differs from one person to another. Some might expect it to be higher, some might expect it to be lower. So the cost of a PC is going to be at least double the price of a console. The other problem is that with PC gaming is that as a user of PC gaming, you have to be technically capable. Okay, you must be technically aware. Unlike a console, you can't just put the game in and expect it to work all the time. Okay, you need to have at least some basic understanding of your operating system and of your drivers, things like driver issues and memory issues and so on. Especially when we have things like when the game developers decide that to give out a bad port and we have to figure out whether is there something wrong with your hardware or is there something wrong with your game, and you need to know how to go look for solutions that way. But you know what the main reason to do PC gaming is, especially if you're in a non-US country like Malaysia? Game pricing. So before we can start talking about pricing, we have to establish the Big Mac Index. So if you're not aware, the Big Mac Index is basically we are going to express the price of what we're going to discuss later using McDonald's Big Macs, because Big Macs are more or less available everywhere in the world. Okay, so the Big Mac Index in Malaysia, so a Big Mac costs 12.97 in Malaysia. So that's our index. 12.97 ringgit Malaysia is equal to 1 Big Mac. So why do we say that PC gaming is usually in the long run cheaper than console gaming? You see, outside of US, when we use stores like Steam, they are able to give us regional pricing. So they are not always locked to the usual price of whatever the publisher sets in the US, like 70 US or 60 US or 80 US and so on. They are free to set the price that they want for the different targeted regions, which console stores don't usually do. So now let us look at an example right now. Here I have the price listing of a recent release, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, for the PlayStation Store. So this is the Malaysia PlayStation Store. So you can see that the currency is displayed in Ringgit Malaysia. So Wu Chang Fallen Feathers on the PlayStation is going to cost you 219 ringgit. So in Big Macs that we established, this is going to be 16.89 Big Macs. But the same game, if we look on Steam, you can see that Wu Chang Fallen Feathers in Malaysia can be bought for 149 ringgit. And That means 11.49 Big Macs. So it's a really big difference. And this isn't even an old game. This is a very new release, a newly released title. And on release day, we can already see that there's a very huge difference between price of console and PC games. Of course, this Wu Chang is more of a sort of like an indie title. So you won't, I'm not saying that all the games will see such a big difference, especially like if you have international publishers like Capcom or Bandai Namco, you're probably not going to see such a big difference. Because on Steam, what you hear people always tell you about are the Steam sales. So games go on sale on the PC a lot. If you can just track a game's price, you can really look for the best deal that you want. Especially if you aren't just like looking for a game to play right now. By using tools like SteamDB, I can show you that here we have a game, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, and of course this is a pretty new game. It's just been released around like half a year ago. And if we look at the price history, we can see that within the last 6 months, the price has there have been drops and discounts from the last 6 months quite frequently. So basically, this shows that there's a potential for games to just go on sale quite frequently on the PC side. So if you can wait and you don't have to buy and play every game immediately on launch. And because it's digital, it's going to be it's never going to go out of stock usually. I'm looking at you, Nintendo. So if you can wait, you can definitely look for a better deal for a game. So one of the reasons why games can be priced so much cheaper on the PC is probably because instead of a monopoly where you can only buy games from the hardware manufacturers themselves, there are many places where you can buy games from on the PC. So one of the other places you can get games from is a place called humblebundle.com, and the claim to fame of this website is, of course, these are the people that started the whole pay whatever you want for a bundle of games. And really, when I first started PC gaming, this is where I got most of the titles that are now just sitting in my Steam library, which I don't play. And sometimes you can really find a lot of good deals. You can just pay whatever price you want after a minimum, and you can get a whole bundle of games. So yeah, it's a really good place to come and look every now and then, just in case they have a bundle where you have a bunch of games that you don't have yet, and you can get them at a good price. And even though you're buying it at humblebundle.com, what they're selling are essentially Steam keys, so you can redeem the game on Steam. So you're basically getting Steam games at a discount when you buy a Humble Bundle. So the other place you can get games at a good price, but most of the time this will be retro games. This a site called GOG.com. This stands for GreatOldGames.com, and their claim to fame mainly is that they sell a lot of old retro titles, and they have no DRM. So even if the store goes out of business or whatever, if you downloaded the installer, you'll be able to install and use them for however long you want. There's no DRM attached to the games usually. And of course, one of the other most popular places you can get PC games from is the Epic Games Store. So Epic Games, the publisher of Fortnite, has basically created the Epic Games Store in order to try and rival Steam. And yes, it's not as popular as Steam, and they do have some exclusives, but the most important reason for you to get to install the Epic Games downloader, Epic Games Store, if you're a PC gaming user, is the fact that every week Epic Games will give a free, okay, sometimes even 2 free games every week. And sometimes it looks like it's just they are just giving out indie games, but every now and then they will start giving out some nice AA or AAA title. So if you're a PC gamer, you really should just download the Epic Games Store and, you know, just claim the free game every week. And of course, finally, if we are talking about playing games on a budget on the PC, we have to talk about Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass for PC. Xbox PC Game Pass. It's basically Game Pass on the PC. So for those of you who don't know, Game Pass is essentially Netflix for games. Okay, you pay a monthly subscription and then you get an access to a library of games. Now, because this service is basically given by Xbox, they have access to a lot of games. Okay, and not only do they have access to a lot of games, the other thing that Xbox Game Pass gives you is that you get access to AAA games on 0 day. That means on launch day, especially Microsoft games. I mean, we could get Doom, The Dark Ages on release. We got Power on release. We got Flight Simulator on release. Grounded and Grounded 2 on release. We got Expedition 33 on release. And Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, the game that started, that we had the demo that we used for the price comparison in the beginning, we got it on release on Game Pass. Hollow Knight Silk Song coming to Game Pass on release. Okay, it really is a very good offer for the PC gamer on a budget, because you get access to all these games on a monthly subscription. And how much is the monthly subscription, you ask? The monthly subscription for PC Game Pass in Malaysia is 20 ringgit a month and 5 ringgit for the first 14 days. Now, if we go back to our previous Big Mac index, just to remind you, 20 ringgit is 1.5 Big Macs. Okay, so for the price of 1.5 Big Macs a month, you could be playing all these games and more. And it is already confirmed that every Xbox published game will go into the library at day 1. So these are like all the day 1 games, okay? These are all the day 1 games that were available on Game Pass. So if you are a person that is gaming on a budget, there's PC gaming on a budget, and you just want to play games, you don't really focus on games, you really just want to play games because you like playing games, there is really no reason not to get Game Pass. Look, I'm dead serious, okay? If you play games on PC and you like to play games, playing games is your hobby, you enjoy playing games as many games as you can, you want Game Pass, okay? I know that there's a lot of people who there are people debating around whether Game Pass is good for the industry or not, okay? But you can't escape the fact that Game Pass is the best deal in gaming right now. And if you're gaming on a budget, Game Pass is the best deal for you, because you can just keep playing games for that monthly subscription. And the PC subscription is really affordable right now. Okay, So that was one of the main reasons why I decided to choose the PC gaming as my main gaming platform, because game prices very very competitive here outside of the US, so here in Malaysia. So yeah, that's it. That's the main reason. Money. So this is Marauders. I will see you all in the next video.